All right, you guys, I am excited. This is going to be the launch of Commercial Real Estate 101. So maybe you're watching this because you want to train your assistant and you want to have support staff that's going to be able to grow with you, because training in this industry is very, very difficult. And maybe you're looking for something to solve that problem for you. Maybe you're watching this because you want to make a transition from residential into commercial real estate, or possibly you've been trying to figure out how to get your feet wet and start your business in commercial real estate and learn the ins and outs of it. Regardless to where you're at, this is what this is for. This is the entry level, the basics, and the breakdown as you step into commercial real estate. My name is Melissa Jackson. I've been doing commercial real estate for about 11 years. I've done work with Fortune 500 companies. I've done work with small business owners. I've worked on shopping centers. I've worked on brand new ground up developments. I've worked on redevelopments of malls. I've worked on basically all of it. And starting this has been something that I've always wanted to do. Right now, as it stands, I've got my own office. I do commercial real estate deals nationally, and then I'm also the national retail chair with EXP Commercial. On top of that, I also have been doing business coaching and consulting for and motivational speaking for the past 10 years on an international level. And this launch of commercial real estate has been something I've been building since the very beginning because of this. When I first got into this industry, I was working up to 4 jobs, putting myself through college and building this business. Prior to that, I worked in the restaurant industry, and I got into leadership and management at a very young age. And I found the one location that I could not fix, and it taught me a very clear lesson. No matter how good your operations are, no matter how good they are, you will not succeed if you are in a poor location. That's how I ended up starting. That was one of the biggest things that launched me into getting into this industry. But when I got into it, I had a very, very rude awakening, as some may have already experienced. And that is, it's a very steep learning curve, and there's very limited resources to get started in this industry. In fact, it is statistically backed. There is a 90% failure rate when it comes to learning this industry. This industry is not something that I've got 2 business degrees. This is not an industry that they taught me anything about when I went to college. This is not an industry that I was able to find online resources really to learn how to get good at it. Nothing like that, honestly. Hardly any education out there. So what I decided is I decided to make a commitment and document for the last 11 years everything that I have learned to get into this industry, everything that I have learned from the beginning to where I'm at now, so I could go back and give it to people that want to get into this industry, want their support staff to understand what is happening, and provide that education that is very much lacking. And that's what this is. Now, this is not a get rich quick thing. I'm going to be very clear in that. That's not how this works. And anybody that has actual money will tell you that that's not how it happens. But what this is this is the basics to get you into an industry that has mega wealthy people in it, very sophisticated people that understand how economics works, financials work, understand all of that. This is the first step to get yourself into a business that has more opportunity to grow and scale than residential, in my humble opinion, possibly can. You have larger deals, you've got abilities to expand, you've got abilities to do lease transactions versus just sales and everything. There's a very big reason why commercial real estate is more difficult to learn than residential, and that includes the opportunities are bigger. This is the first step to explain to you the difference in the different lease types. How do you prospect? Understand the restrictions in a shopping center and how that works. Understand how do you go through there and find the ownerships of projects? How do you submit offers? I just spoke to somebody the other day that's been in real estate for quite some time, and great person. They were trying to do a commercial real estate deal, and the way that they had it structured put them on liability over hundreds of thousands of dollars that they would not be able to recapture. Like, there's a lot of things to learn when it comes to this. And I'm not here to give you all of the answers, especially not in this, because you have a lot of things to learn. If you come to my house, I'm literally studying politics, economist, Federal Reserve, and history pretty much 24/7. But what this is to get your feet wet so you can build a business that will help you with continuing to grow, that can help you be able to become an expert. There are very few experts in the commercial real estate space if you compare it to residential. And that's because some of them have not been able to access education and also the commitment that it takes to also learn this because it is such a diverse industry to learn. But I want to help make that easier for you. This is something that definitely you're not going to learn everything in one course, but you're going to know the basics. It's going to cut down that learning curve and cut down that learning time for you to be able to break through into it. This is, and what I'm providing for you is exactly what I wish existed when I was first getting into this industry. And that's why I kept all of those notes for 11 years, is to give back. So if you guys are looking into this and you're like, okay, I want to get started. I want to learn the basics of commercial real estate. I want to understand how to put together a shopping center. I want to understand how to work with these investors. I want to understand how the game works. So I can go out there and make money, because you can definitely make a lot of money in this industry, and also go out there and help other business owners and other people make money. And I want to understand the ins and outs of this. That's what I'm providing to you guys. So this is a 6-week long program. We're going to have pre-recorded videos as well as live videos, a private group, and we're going to go through item by item commercial real estate 101 so you can understand the game of this, and even walk through some Q&A of the deals that you're working on, because again, this doesn't exist for you to learn it. And I'm doing it at an extremely low price. And also what I'm doing, because one of my biggest passions is helping people that came from humble beginnings like I did, is I'm also offering it so people that are just getting started, that don't have a lot of money, can do 0% interest financing to get their feet wet in this, and also so they can do low monthly payments onto something like this. That way, you're not having to come up with a large lump sum as you invest in yourself. I know, and I'm very familiar, and I remember what it's like to take that first jump and to get myself going in this. My first office was just in my living room. I've got a picture of my first office phone sitting there in my living room on like the little fireplace kickout that they have in apartments, that I would just sit there and make calls for and just take a shot in the dark and figure out how to put a deal together, because I had no clue what to say when I picked up that phone. I didn't know how to prospect. I didn't know any of that. I want to go and give back to where I was at, and also make it as comfortable as possible, if financing options are needed, to be able to make that investment. So I know what it's like to work for every single dollar that you have and try to invest it in yourself for a brighter future. I wouldn't change anything about what I've done. I'm very happy about the career choices that I've made, and they've been very successful and rolled off very well, between being selected as accomplished under 40 here in the state of Idaho, one of the most impactful and accomplished people under 40 professionally in this state, Woman of the Year honoree, to being highlighted in Times Square, New York just 2 weeks ago. Every single thing that I've done, I've worked my tail off for. But the biggest thing that I'm happy about is my ability to give back to the people that have started off where I've started off and want to have something different for them. What I have did not seem possible. And now, knowing what I know now and what I've been able to learn throughout all of these years with working with Fortune 500 companies, with working with really great mentors over the years, and all of these things, I want to continue that process of giving that back, so that this reality that seemed impossible for me is possible for somebody else down the road. So if you are interested, we launch this here in a couple of days, March 25th. Click the link below, sign up, and I'd love to see you guys on the other side of it.